I always check to see what's been going on with the kids, and the first thing I see is a post from my granddaughter that I'm glad everyone got out okay. And then the next post was, we survived a shooting. And I posted, Grandma's heart can't take the word shooting and no details, what's going on. I got dressed and went on to work. Got to work. People were talking about a shooting in a movie theater. And then I heard them say Colorado. And then I said, where in Colorado was it? And they said Aurora. That's when my heart did the little flip. And I sent a text message to my daughter asking her to call me as soon as she read my message. What about 11 o'clock our time? Because there is a 2-hour time difference. My granddaughters called me and told me what had happened. And I asked them, I said, girls, I know the shooter was in Theater 9, but the show was also in Theater 8. Which one were you in? Oh, Grandma, we were in the one with the man. We were sitting on the front row. And then they told me that they saw him come in a side door and had on a gas mask. And at first they thought he was a stunt because they were wondering why they were waiting and doing after the movie started. And then he threw the tear gas, and they heard the shots and realized it was not a stunt. And when they realized the tear gas was real, they got down on the floor and stayed there for a few minutes. And then when the shooting really got intense, they realized this man was shooting people, and they got up and ran out the other exit, because there's an exit on each side of the screen, and they went out the one on the opposite side that he had used. Haven't talked to them since then. It's just, I'm just thankful they got out okay. And I talked to their mother this morning, and they finally got a little bit of sleep last night. The only side effects they've had physically have been stinging eyes from the tear gas. But the 2 girls and the 4 friends that were with them all got out safely with no gunshot wounds, no injuries of any kind.
Is that one that had another friend not with them?
Another friend that was not with them did get a bullet wound to the neck. He had surgery and he is doing fine. I don't know the child's name. Kids call him Lewis, but I don't know anything other than that.
Carolyn, when you got this, when you first got that text and then you got to work and you put 2 and 2 together, your heart did more than flip.
Oh, I went in the bathroom and had a good cry and did the grandma thing. You know, I was in a panic. I couldn't function. I started to come home and I said that wouldn't do me any good because I'd sit here and be worse than I was at work. So I stayed and finished my work day. But as the day went on, I started having those what ifs. You know, what if they had not gotten up and run out? What if he had turned around and seen them? And then I started falling apart all over again. But after I talked to them and knew they were okay, I was able to get a good night's sleep last night.
But like you said, you were a basket case yesterday until you got that phone call.
Oh, I was. And the later it got, the more worried I was that maybe they were hurt, and in order to protect me, they had not called me.
They survived, and 12 died, but at least 12 died, and then they're saying now that 59 others were wounded.
And I have not been in that particular theater, but usually those multiplexes don't hold that many people. So that's probably half the people in there were injured or shot. And it's just a miracle that they got out without an injury. And I'm glad that they chose the front row because he walked right past that front row.
And they actually saw him, made eye contact. You don't know if they made eye contact with him, but they saw him.
Oh yes, they gave me a good description, the dark clothes, the gas mask. And then when he walked by and started shooting, they realized they had to get out of there. And I asked them, I said, you weren't afraid he would turn around and shoot you when you ran? She said, well, Grandma, if he came back down that aisle, he was going to shoot us, so we took a chance.
I know you're glad they took that chance and they got up, but I also know, Carolyn, that your heart hurts for the ones that were hurt and for the ones who didn't survive.
I can't imagine, because I know how I felt, and I knew mine were alive and well. So I can't imagine what was happening to the family members on the outside, wondering what was going on in there with their family.